Good morning, all. Well, let's start things off by taking a look around Virginia basketball last night. Region 2D boys tournament action, and it was in Bluefield where Graham was hosting Lee. The G-men, they were locked in from the very first whistle. Ball stolen away on the first possession by Xavion Turner-Bradshaw. An easy lay-in gets the scoring going. Then midway through the first quarter, it's a slow break. David Graves hitting Nick Owens in the corner. He splashes home a three. Lee calling a timeout. It is an 18-0 advantage for the home team. The run was 24-0 to start the game, capped off by David Graves, a steal and slam. It blew the top off of the gym. Lee just didn't have any answers in the first half. Zach Dale's continuing the onslaught in the second quarter. The G-men dominate 94-56, undefeated into those region semifinals. Other quarterfinal matchups from down south, so to speak. Gate City led 24-6 after the first quarter and never let up. They topple Tazewell, ending the Bulldog season 82-42. Gate City will travel to Graham on Thursday night, and Union got the better of the Blues as well, 86-33. The Bears' Alex Rasnick scored a game-high 26, had 8 3-pointers. Cade Berry had 8 for Richlands, as did Sam Varney. Luke West finishing with 7. And how could we not have been locked in on WVU and Texas Tech in Lubbock last night? WVU with a last-second win about 2 weeks ago over the Red Raiders. It was another good one. Early on, Derek Culver dominating for Bob Huggins' crew. The backdoor cut and then the tough bucket. He had 6 of the team's first 8. The Red Raiders answer back, take a first lead, 19-18, by a 3 from guess who, Mac McClung. Sean McNeil, though, would not be outdone in the first half. 15 for him in the first 20 minutes of play, including a few threes. It gave the Mountaineers a 40-34 advantage at the break. It got tight in the second half and down the stretch, but McNeil going to hit a super tough 3 with a hand in his face. 26 for him. Mountaineers get the season sweep of Texas Tech. It's their first road conference win against a top 10 opponent in the Big 12, 82-71. One last reminder, no Concord basketball tonight. Both games have been postponed due to COVID protocol. That's going to do it for sports for now. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. We'll send things back to you.
Thank you, Nick. We'll see you again at 5:42, but now, or rather in the 6:30 half hour. Breast cancer deaths among younger women in the United States began dropping in the late 1980s, but a new study shows that the decline has stopped, folks. University of Colorado researchers analyzed data from 2010 to 2017. During this time, breast cancer deaths decreased in older women, but leveled off in women under 40. The scientists estimate that within 2 years, the death rate in younger women will increase significantly. They say a rise in advanced stage breast cancer is likely to blame. And a new study is suggesting your morning cup of Joe may lower your risk of heart failure. Researchers from the University of Colorado tracked 21,000 adults for a decade. They found people who reported drinking at least 1 cup of caffeinated coffee a day were less likely to develop heart failure than those who drank none, and those who drank multiple cups a day had an even lower risk. Decaf coffee did not provide the same protection. And the long-asked question, are eggs good for you? Well, it depends. Chinese scientists looked at the dietary data of over 500,000 middle-aged Americans. They found eating more whole eggs was linked with a higher risk of early death, but eating egg whites or egg substitutes was associated with a lower mortality. In fact, replacing half of a whole egg with the same amount of egg whites was linked to a 3% lower risk of cardiovascular-related death. Finally, in your health news this morning, if you have a new baby or if there's a new baby in your family, we have a warning from some local doctors. They say that they are now seeing some very sick babies rush to the hospital because their parents are feeding them homemade baby formula. Tim Furlong reports.
2 babies from 2 different families both rushed into Morse DuPont Hospital for Children in Wilmington with similar symptoms and with a similar cause.
Both of the babies were ingesting a hemp-based homemade formula.
Whatever their parents' reasons were, and doctors think they were well-intentioned, they gave their babies homemade vegan formula.
Most parents are obviously just trying to do their best for their child and give them the best ingredients and the most healthy food that they can.
But doctors here say while the ingredient list on store-bought formula looks scary, it's actually very well thought out, carefully scrutinized, and heavily regulated by the FDA. Homemade formula recipes are all over the web. Nemours doctors say do not use them. In many cases, they just might not have enough of what your baby needs at that crucial time in their development.
Calcium in particular affects your muscles and your heart, and one of the children that was admitted had a cardiac arrest, and you can absolutely die from not having the right ingredients and the right nutrients in your body.
Financial assistance is available to families struggling to pay for formula, and in many cases, homemade formulas cost more to make because some use high-end or rare ingredients. Sure, the cans can look kind of scary, but doctors say the products inside them are safer than what you could make in your blender.
It is absolutely recommended that if you cannot breastfeed for whatever reason, that you use a commercially produced, quality-controlled infant formula that is available in the stores.
All right, well, now that you're caught up on all of those health headlines, let's turn to meteorologist Catherine Maxwell, because Catherine, you've got a bevy of information to give us this morning with all these alerts and advisories, right?
Yeah, Joshua, it's a lot. So I do recommend really put your listening ears on because we have kind of a lot of different elements to talk about, and there could be some confusion mainly with those advisories, those watches, and those warnings. So I'm going to try the best I can to explain it the best for you guys. Well, for northern and western Pocahontas County, this winter storm warning will begin at 12 o'clock this afternoon, last until Friday, 7 a.m. So this mixed precipitation event isn't just for today, not just for Thursday, but it could even last into Friday morning. Today, I think there's a potential that we'll have some ice for Pocahontas and Greenbrier counties. Now, this is where it could look a little confusing. So for Fayette, Raleigh, Wyoming, McDowell, and Buchanan counties, that advisory will begin at 1 a.m. Thursday, continue until 7 a.m. Friday. For Greenbrier County, this advisory will begin at 12 o'clock this afternoon due to the fact we could see some light snow and some ice for that county, and continue until 1 p.m. Thursday afternoon. For the southern and eastern parts of Pocahontas County, this advisory will begin at 12 o'clock this afternoon and continue until 7 a.m. Friday. Winter storm watches will be active at 1 p.m. Thursday, continuing until Friday, 7 o'clock that evening for Greenbrier, Summers, Monroe, Mercer, Bland, Wythe, and Giles County. So just know some mixed precipitation is on the way. It's going to start today from the system that's mainly over Kentucky. Now, that's going to push our way. We're having moisture come through from the south, but cold air that's coming from the north, all thanks to a high pressure system. So this is why it's a mixed precipitation event. And this can make it a little tricky too. We're going with a 60% chance today for some rain, even some light snow, some freezing rain. All of that's possible today. Temperatures will be scattered around in the 30s and the 40s. I do think most of us will stay fairly dry this morning. May have a stray shower or two work in. Most of the precipitation will try to swing through later afternoon and into the evening. Notice that we're seeing mostly rain for the southern half of the viewing area. North and along I-64 will have the best chance to see some freezing rain and even some snow thanks to that high pressure bringing that colder air in. As we're looking at tomorrow, I think we'll be a little bit more wet for Thursday. Notice again, southern half of the viewing area, mostly rain. Then we see that cold air will try to influence our precipitation to change over to freezing rain and even some snow. That's mainly along and north of that I-64 corridor. So we're not just talking about snow. We have rain in the forecast for much of the viewing area. Freezing rain is possible too. It really depends on the upper atmosphere and the surface. If we have that warmer air trapped in the upper atmosphere, and then we have some colder temperatures down to the surface, that could change it to freezing rain rather than snow, which we need a longer cold column of air for that. That's why it can be a little bit tricky. So not all of the snow is going to fall today or tomorrow. Keep that in mind. This is looking at the snowfall totals all day today, all day Thursday into Friday morning. So don't just expect it to dump snow immediately. We're calling for western Pocahontas, western Greenbrier counties 5 to 8 inches, 3 to 5 inches in parts of Fayette County into parts of Greenbrier County. I think Lewisburg is going to be more in this 1 to 3 inch range. That's including Summers, Monroe counties, parts of Giles, And really, I think snow will be non-existent for that trace amount, to be honest. It looks more of a rain event. Need to keep in mind ice potential. We could see 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of ice. So messy commute all around. Looks like with rain potential too, that could give us a chance for some flooding issues, some localized flooding, since the ground is already so saturated. So active weather starts today, will continue into Thursday in the form of this mixed precipitation. Friday morning, we'll still see some precipitation, but we're actually looking a little bit drier by Friday afternoon.